Adriana Rodriguez wants to know, let's say you haven't filed your tax returns several years, you want to get caught up. Adriana asks, if the person has all the information, such as their W-2s and 1099s, do they still need to go and get their transcripts? Where's this question coming from? This question is coming from my video about a step-by-step what to do if you haven't filed your tax returns in several years. And one of those things I say in the video is, hey, pull your transcripts. Make sure that what you're reporting in your tax return matches what the IRS has on you. And of course, if there's any discrepancies that you noted on the return that, hey, I actually didn't get this income on this 1099. But Adriana's saying, look, if you already got all the 1099s and W-2s and tax docs, do you need to go through the trouble pulling your transcripts? I say no, Adriana. If you're absolutely positively sure you got them all, yeah, you don't need to do that. Now, that's a big if, though. That's a big if. Because we have clients, well, let me tell you something about our business practice. So if you call us to get kind of back tax returns done, okay, we're probably going to charge a little bit more than, say, the corner Main Street tax preparer guy or gal is gonna charge. Why is that? A few reasons. One reason is our expertise. We have great people working here. Second thing is our review process. We don't just have a tax preparer prepare the return and then send it to you. Every tax return is reviewed by a more experienced tax reviewer, right? Okay, so there's two sets of eyeballs, at least two sets of eyeballs on the returns before it goes out. Complicated stuff, I'll look at it. Sometimes three sets of eyeballs right before it goes out. And third thing is, well, because we have the additional time and expense of pulling your transcripts for you for any tax return that we do for you. And some people contact us and they say, well, will you cut us a deal? Will you cut us a deal if we just give you all the tax documents ourselves? And if it's the most current year, right? If it's just last year's taxes, sure, whatever, give us the stuff. But if, and we'll just take it. We may cut you a deal, we may not. But for older years, and some people do have all their stuff, right? Sometimes. But more often than not, even if people swear up and down, these are all the tax documents for this year. When we pull the wage income transcript, we usually do find at least one tax document that they did not provide to us. And so it's a good thing we pull the transcripts. It'd probably be a good thing if you pull the transcripts, Adriana, because the last thing you want is to not report all the tax documents on the return. And then you get one of those lovely CP 2000 notices, which are a pain in the butt to deal with. The unit that sends those, IRS AUR, IRS automated underreporter, they are not fun to deal with. They are backlogged, I feel like, for months. Not a good place to be. So instead of dealing with that, Adriana, I would say just take the few minutes, pull the transcripts, make sure it matches what you got, just to make sure you're not forgetting anything. If for some reason you can't, set up an IRS account online to do it with ID.me and all that, okay, fine, I get you don't want to go through the hassle, but, the literal answer to your question, Adriana, is no. If you have all your docs, you don't need to just pull your wage income transcripts to see all the docs again in columnar format. But of course, it's a big if, right? Having all your tax docs for all those unfiled years, right? If it's just the last couple years, you probably have them. Sometimes people come to us, we're doing returns from 5-6 years ago. We want to make sure we got those wage and income transcripts to make sure that, we're reporting everything so they're not getting a CP 2000, right? And this kind of helps us too, the company or Choice Tax Relief. We, on returns that we prepare, we never get CP 2000s. I think there's kind of an internal database the IRS has of preparers, and they know the ones that make mistakes or have reporting issues with tax documents. We don't, and maybe I'm thinking, you know, I'm fantasizing here, but I like to think maybe there's a score at the IRS for various preparers, and maybe that's why, hey, none of our stuff gets audited, even though we take fairly aggressive positions on returns for clients. Maybe getting a little too in the weeds here, but Adriana, look, if you're absolutely positively sure you got all your tax docs, no, you don't need to pull your transcripts, right? But just to be safe, just to make absolutely positively sure you got all your tax docs, it might make sense to take a look at your transcripts. Anyway, folks, if you're in this situation, you have multiple years of unfiled tax returns, just a big mess, and you know you need to tackle it, give us a call here at Choice Tax Relief. If you qualify for a free consultation, 866-8000-TAX, that's 866-8000-829. Or you can go to choicetaxrelief.com, fill out the form on the website, and we will reach out to you. I have some other videos about what to do if you have unfiled returns there on the left-hand side of the screen for your education and enjoyment. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. I need my clicker to turn this thing off.